Hello there. Let's start with the first, the second, and the third conditional. This is the grammar section in unit number 4. Well, there are different types of conditionals. Here we have the first, the second, and the third, but we are not going to talk about the zero conditional, not this time. Let's see. What about the first conditional? What are conditionals? Well, it has to do with conditions. So if we have a condition, for example, if I study, then I can talk about a possibility in the future. If I study, I'll pass exam. So, I'll pass exam, aprobaré el examen si estudio. So if the first condition, if the condition I have there is fulfilled, then the result will be that I will pass exam. Si estudio, aprobaré el examen. So this is something that is completely possible, as I said before. So this is possible. The first conditional is possible, okay? In Spanish and in Catalan, you can say it like this, or you can say it the other way around. You can say, I'll pass exam if I study. And it's exactly the same thing. The only thing you have to take into account is that when you use if at the beginning, then you have to use a comma in the middle. Whereas if you start with the will and the infinitive, then the if goes in the middle and there is no comma. Remember, this is not just decoration, so you really need to use it. Now, let's get into the structure here. What do we have? We have a present simple, if I study, just like in Catalan and in Spanish. If I study, I'll pass exam. This is a future tense, a simple future, which is will plus infinitive. All right? Remember, if is going to be followed by present simple. So when you change the order, you're going to take that into account. After if, we have the present simple, and here we will have will and infinitive. Let's go now to the second conditional. In fact, if you know this one, this example, you can deduce the rest. There is a little trick. Think about un pasito para atrás, pasito para atrás. If you go from the present simple and you go one step back, then we go to the past simple, and that's what we find in the second conditional. Past simple here. What about the other side? In the other side, we're going to find not will, but if we go back to the past, we will find the conditional would, okay? Would plus infinitive again. So will becomes would in the second conditional. All right? Would plus infinitive. If we translate them into our own language, si estudio, aprobaré el examen. Si estudies, aprobaría el examen. So you see, it's the same thing, exactly the same thing. Again, you could change the order if you liked. What about the third conditional? Oh well, I forgot to say something. Is this possible? If I started, I pass exam, is this possible? Well, it is possible, but let's say it's not very likely. Somehow this is imaginary, all right? It's not very likely. No és massa probable. No és gaire probable, vull dir. This is imaginary. So this person doesn't really think he or she is going to study. What about the third conditional? In the third conditional, we go one pasito para atrás, one step backwards, one more. What is there that is more past than the past simple? Well, it's a past perfect. And so we have to use had and the participle. Okay? So had for all the persons and the participle. That's a past perfect. Alright? What about the other tense that is going to be combined here? Here we had would past, which is a modal plus an infinitive, and here what we get is a modal perfect, that is would plus have plus participle. This is a modal perfect, alright? Alright, and let's think about the meaning. When you say, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam, you're talking about a situation that is not real anymore. You are just thinking about something that could have been like that, but you never, let's say, that is impossible, completely impossible. You cannot go backwards. You cannot go into the past and change it. So this is going to be impossible. That's a difference. The first one is possible, the second one imaginary, and the third is going to be impossible to change. Si yo hagués estudiat, hauria aprovat l'examen. Si hubiera estudiado, habría aprobado el examen. So you see, it's the same thing as in your language, Catalan or Spanish, exactly the same thing. Now, what about this here? Unless. What does unless mean? Unless is the same thing, but this one means if not. So what happens if not? This has got a negative sense. So you can say, I'll be in trouble, which is the first one. I will be in trouble if I don't do well. So what do you have here? You have if and you have not here. You see? You can do that. You can combine it with if I don't do well, which is a present simple, all right? But in the negative. Or you can use unless, and then remember, you cannot use another verb with a negative sense. You cannot use two negatives here. So if you write unless, what you are writing is if not, all right? I don't know if you understand what I mean. Unless would be translated as a menos que. Estaré en problemas a menos que lo haga bien. O estaré en problemas si yo no lo hago bien. O si el examen en este caso no me va bien.